I think South Africa is one of the most unequal countries in the world, not just economically and privilege, but mentally, right? Like I spoke of earlier, white people in South Africa still make up 60% of boardrooms. And with that comes a lot of mental privilege. White mental privilege is the assurance of correctness. It's me believing that I know the right facts and that I am right simply because I'm white. And there's different kinds of acknowledgements. So what happened in the USA and Donald Trump and all of that, it was political framing. They weren't debating facts. And that is what we're acknowledging now. It didn't come down to whether or not land was being grabbed in South Africa or whether or not land was being returned, because that's what it comes down to. As a white person, and my people would say it's being grabbed. It's because it's their land, right? As a black person, you'd say it's being restored. It's being brought back because it's our land. So, like I said, it's simple politics, and on a global scale, it looked bad for South Africa because it just showed how much privilege there still is, to the point that Cyril Ramaphosa would go on an international stage to appease billionaires, white billionaires.
I truly believe that as well.
Yes.
I believe that.
So mental privilege has become so bad that even our black president has to implement it to a certain extent. And that is embarrassing on a global stage for South Africans, because it shows no backbone.
Yeah. So I want to know, when you started this journey, and like you said, you started from high school, when people were giving you that pushback and telling you that you are not like the rest of us, and why are you advocating for black people and all of this thing, how did that make you feel?
Well, obviously, it makes you question, am I doing the right thing, right? And you sit and think, you do some introspection, and you realize that when I take offense to something, and when someone gives me critique and I take offense, it's usually because they're right. In perhaps a certain extent of it, they are right. And I took offense because there is some truth to it. So when white people take offense to what I'm saying, there has to be an aspect of truth to what I'm saying, because it goes into that fragility of the white psychology. It's upset whites. It upsets whites, as you know, if you've not deconstructed it upsets you to hear that black people are just as human as you are. You're not superior to black people. And I've always said racists deny the beautiful expression of humanity, which is in shades. We come in different shades. So when you're racist, you're denying that shade, and you're denying the fact that all humans, at the end of the day, have ancestral DNA tracing back to Africa. We all come from Africa.
True.
And I don't say that as a land claim. I'm not as a white person, I'm never going to claim land in South
I
Africa.
actually want to get into that as well.
Yeah, I do think that we get different forms of power abuse, right? Like racism, we get discrimination. I've always believed, and I've believed in this critical theory, I do believe to a certain extent, and don't take me up wrong, black people to a certain historical extent cannot be racist towards white people in the same way that white people have been racist towards black people. I say so because historically white people have been in immense power, positions of power and privilege, economically, mentally, like you've said, the belief that all black people are thieves or thugs. That is not just taught, right? When you're taught in a certain environment for a period of time, you start believing it. It starts being conditioned into who you are as a person. And if it plays off long enough in nature, perhaps that becomes part of who you are as a group of people. That is why I do believe so powerfully in deconstruction. Black people can discriminate against white people, right? They can be racist perhaps towards other black people or discriminate. But I don't think, if we look at it historically and from a position of power, if you tell me that I have pink skin, right, which is an insult to some white people, right, I don't have to take offense to that because I've been historically privileged, right? my people have not been spit on in public, kicked in public, being called a K word or whatever, it's not become conditioned into white people as racism was conditioned as an effect into black people. Black people know what racism feels like. White people don't. So I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. You emphasize humanism and equality, right? How do you see these ideas being implemented, partially in a country that is as diverse as South Africa?
Well, my part as a politically unaffiliated person, right, has to come down to what I'm doing right now. It's speaking to people with conviction, with provocation, upsetting people, right? Putting them out of their comfort zone. Because when you're out of your comfort zone, you get to grow as a person, right? So I want to upset racists. I do believe it's 2025. If you're racist, there's medical and psychological help, right? You can get help.
Yeah.
And it's outdated. And that's why I have to fight against it. I have to provoke. Because saying some white people are racist doesn't sell as good as all white people are racist. Because to a certain extent, all white people are still racist. I say so because you can marry, as a white person, I can marry a black person, a black woman, and still be racist. If we fight, I can still call her a slur because I know as a white person that would upset her immensely from a position of power, right? It's not impossible. It's a racism, like I've said, the redistribution of wealth to Africans from white people. It's very simple. You redistribute wealth. But the redistribution of our mental privilege or the deconstruction of it is the hardest part. And that you have to start with. Because I don't imagine white people willingly having their land expropriated. I do think, to a certain extent, we need to educate white people to a point of being empathetic about it and doing it willingly. Because we want our black brothers and sisters to prosper. Because when you prosper, I'm going to prosper. We both contribute to the economy and the economy grows. But if only I prosper and you don't and your children don't, it creates a problem again in 50 years that we have to sort out again then. So why not sort it out now?
No, yeah.
You know, what it entails when someone says, if a woman says all men are bad, it makes men sit down like this and talk about it. As two men sitting here, right, we know that it's a fact. Not all men are bad.
Not all men are bad, yeah.
But saying all men is bad forces men to stop and think about it. Okay, have I done something that might qualify as being mean or bad? Let's be honest. When we compare men and women and we had to put the connotation of bad on one of those, who would we put it on?
If you had to do what? Sorry?
If we had to put the word bad and connect it to either male or female, who would we?
Definitely male.
Men are bad.
Yeah.
We are bad in nature. We have to kill. We have to provide. It's in our biology, whether people agree with that or not. So, to a certain extent, men have to be bad. It doesn't mean you have to kill. Doesn't mean you have to lie. But sometimes you don't have to be a pacifist. Revolutionaries, for example, are not there to unify society. They're there to divide society. They want to divide between the poor and the rich. They want to call out hypocrisy and fake morality. So there's a distinction. They call out. We say all white people are racist because to a certain extent it's true. Just like all men, to a certain extent, are bad biologically. Doesn't mean literally you as a man is a bad provider or bad boyfriend to your girl. It just makes you sit down and talk to another man
And have these discussions.
have these discussions. Just like that article I wrote, all white people are racist, right? It's not metaphysically true, but it forces us to
speak
think
yeah.
about.